Alright, this is a follow-up review for my Chinese carbon 29er, model LTK023. So you may remember that my last video review was done back at home in New England. Well, here I am, probably couldn't be farther from New England. So this bike has been ridden quite a lot in the past 3 months. It's been ridden through some of the rockiest, most punishing trails I've ridden in New England. It's ridden on the Front Range of Colorado, and now it's spent a month being punished here in western Colorado in Grand Junction. And overall, it's just been stellar. To give you an idea of just how much ride time I have on the bike, I've been through 2 chains now, been through a couple rear tires, so I definitely have, I feel like, a good enough amount of time to make a good assessment of the bike, and on many different kinds of terrain, including, slippery, slimy mud, to hard slick rock, to sand, to loamy high country riding. And overall, I have to say that this is definitely one of the best purchases I've ever made. It's probably my favorite bike ever. It is extremely stiff where it should be, and it is extremely forgiving where it should be. The ride on the seat post, you can feel the frame flexing. It's amazing. You can feel the seat stays flexing, but man, you stand up and this bike just is a rocket. I would say that some carbon bikes tend to feel sort of woody in the back just because they're so stiff, and this one feels extremely stiff but also has that satisfying sort of spring back that really feels like you're moving. I also think that when a frame reveals sort of problems or failings of components, that really sort of means to me that it's a high quality product. And I started riding the bike with just a direct transplant of components from my other one, and I just felt like I was riding much more aggressively, and it was starting to reveal things about my components that I didn't really like. For example, I found I was standing a lot more just because I was able to put down more power, and my fork was bobbing a lot. So I've since put a Terralogic unit in my front fork. I also dropped the fork to 90 millimeters because I felt like the front end was a little bit slack at 100. So for future reference for others, I'd say 80 or 90 millimeters of travel in the front on an LTK023 is about the sweet spot probably. Also, I found I was just getting a ton of chain slap because I was riding things more aggressively, and so I've since upgraded the drivetrain to the new XT Shadow Plus, which I like very much, and seems to mesh with the frame really well. So let's just kind of go, just like last time, from front to back, and we'll talk about some of the parts of the frame. The head tube, I've had no issues here with the headset. It has just, this Nico branded headset has been set it and forget it, really. It hasn't come loose or anything like that. Haven't had any problems with the seats in the frame, and boy, is the front end of this bike stiff. It really has revealed that this Fox fork, even with a through axle, does flex, and the head tube reveals that these high Zuten Ricci stem and bars, they flex as well. The frame just does not do that. In terms of moving back a little bit, you may remember in my last video I had some issues with the cable routing for the rear derailleur. Well, I've continued to run full housing, and I actually replaced it once, and I did that just by routing an inner cable through the old one, sticking out the end, and followed the kind of pushed from the back end with the new housing, and it just came right out, no problems. I have had a few issues with it rattling around, but I managed to kind of tighten it up with just jam some electrical tape right there, and that's been no problems. Moving down, I think the down tube is probably a good area to talk about the finish quality of the frame. Now, you might be able to see here, although it's pretty bright, that I put some 3M clear bra on this frame, and I'm glad I did that. You know, the rock hits out here in western Colorado are pretty brutal sometimes, and boy, this frame has taken some serious hits and just kind of laughed it off. You know, at the seat stays back here, there are a few little dings, but I would say that it's faring just as well as any painted frame ever could hope to. Just to give you an idea of how bad things are out here, I would, you know, the ends of my crank arms are polished silver now from rock hits. Moving back a little bit, I've had no problems with the bottles. You may remember I had them add a custom second bottle mount, and boy, am I glad I did that. Allows me to carry 5 liters out here in the desert, which is much needed. The seat post as well, I've had no issues with slipping or anything like that. It's just been kind of set it and forget it. Moving down to the bottom bracket, again, this is an area that is just extremely stiff on this bike, and I've again had no issues there. And moving back, I guess even further, moving kind of fast here. You know, the rear of the bike, the rear dropouts, again, no issues. They don't seem to be wearing excessively. They're straight as day one, and I feel like the rear end of the bike is really active for a hardtail and yet so stiff. So overall, I am extremely pleased. I think that I will definitely be buying another bike from LT Bikes in the future, and honestly, if this frame broke, I'd buy another one. I've more than got my money's worth out of it, and so I'm pretty happy overall, and I really hope that this video helps others who are on the fence about it. I think that LT Bikes is a solid choice. They were very communicative and reliable. I've been in touch with them about some other possible bikes, and they again are really responsive and forthcoming. So LTK023 29er, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars I would say, and for value 5 stars as well. So again, I hope this video helps those people out there who are on the fence. Feel free to post any comments with questions. I'll usually get back to you pretty quick.